Planted, grown, harvested, and bottled, Little Vine Vineyard is a one-stop shop for some of the best wine in the state of Georgia. But don't take my word for it. Georgia Trustees Wine Challenge awarded this winery and vineyard, owned by married couple Jerry and Sherry Culver, with several medals for their bottled perfection.
Just to let you know what different varieties of grapes that we grow and what wine we make. Like I said, mentioned to you earlier, the 5 varieties that we produce here. And the very one in the middle here is called Red Dirt Road Red. And it is the one that won the gold medal here in the state of Georgia in its class. And it's a blend, a hybrid blend of the Lenoir and the Norton wine, with a little bit of sugar added to it to make it off dry. And off dry means that a bit of sugar has been added to the wine to give it that smoother, sweeter, not necessarily real sweet taste, but a different, smoother taste. And the 2 wines here on each side of it, this is, I might also mention this is one of the ones that won the bronze medal in San Francisco. And the other one that won the bronze medal was the Red Dirt Road White. And of course we named the wines Red Dirt Road from the little red dirt road out here that the winery is on. And it's a white grape, so it's a Red Dirt Road White. And this one's red, so it's a Red Dirt Road Red. And this is the Blanc du Bois. And this is the one that was developed by the University of Florida. This one won a silver medal at the Georgia competition, and the Red Dirt Road White won a silver medal as well. The Lenoir, which is this one here, won a bronze medal, and the Norton, this one here, also won a bronze medal. So all 5 of our wines did well in the Georgia competition.
The success of Little Vine is evident, but I spoke with owner Jerry Culver to find out how it all started.
And I bought this property and it had 11 acres with it, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with it since it was just vacant land. And I attended a little talk at the Ag Center in Carrollton, and the speaker was a guy who owned a small winery over in Anniston, Alabama. And it seemed pretty interesting what he was doing there. He had a small vineyard and a winery about like this one is right here, about the same size. And so it seemed like it might be fun to do. And so I went over and just talked to him about 4 or 5 times, just how do you do this, how do you do that, what does it cost, how long does it take the grapes to mature to start producing a plentiful amount of grapes. And I really got interested in it. And I then did some research on what it would take to start a vineyard and a winery. And that's kind of how it got started. And I met a guy by the name of Doug Mabry, who was the Carroll County historian. And he and the commissioner at that time, Bill Chappell, were trying to see what they could do to help the economic development of the county. And so I got interested in the Vineyard and Winery Association through him, and then did a lot of research to see what the economics was. I have an accounting degree from Auburn University, and so I was interested in the finances of it. And that's kind of how it got started. After talking to the guy in Anniston, I decided I could do it. And so here I am, several years later, with a winery and a vineyard. We planted our first grapes in March of 2011. That was the first 3 acres. And the second 3 acres was planted the next year in March of 2012. And we then had our first harvest in 2013 when we harvested 10 tons of grapes, which is a lot of grapes off of 3 acres of grapes. Then the next year in 14, we harvested 20 tons of grapes. And this year we harvested 25 tons of grapes. And that 25 tons of grapes will probably equate to about 20,000 plus bottles of wine. So, it was a good harvest. And the plants, the grapevines have been doing quite well.
Just like the grapes grown on his vineyard, Mr. Culver's harvesting and wine expertise were grown from the ground up.
My learning curve was probably 90 degrees straight up. because I didn't know anything about it when I started. I'd never even had a garden before. And so I thought I could make some money doing it based on the research that I had done. And so just figured out how I wanted to set my vineyard up, bought the post, bought the wire, bought the plants, planted them, and then we became associated with a viticulturist out of Texas who then told us all the mistakes we made in the first vineyard. And so he came out and kind of corrected everything that we did with our second vineyard. And even though I didn't make a lot of huge mistakes, there were some mistakes.
Even though mistakes were made in the beginning, they were well learned from. Little Vine now has live entertainment, wine tasting, and is currently working on adding to the already breathtaking venue, and continues to flourish as West Georgia's first commercial winery in over 100 years. Thank you for watching Little Vine Vineyard and Winery on WUTV's People and Profiles. I'm Kishon Kelly, and I will see you very soon.